her first time on the show ever. This is Corissa Grant. She is a comic book creator in her own right. She's doing a series called Redemption, and it's on Kickstarter right now. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, thanks for coming. It's always good to meet new people on the show. As much this month's kind of like these last 100 episodes or so are kind of um, they're kind of reunions to older stuff in some ways.
I saw
But
Rob was on before. He's awesome.
oh, Rob is Rob's a cool dude. Like Rob's always fun. I never thought we'd be talking about all the stupid shit we did as kids with the old toys.
Oh, of course. I
Yeah.
love toys. I still love those old toys.
Yeah, most people do. I mean,
Yeah.
those old toys are damn cool, right? Those old toys are damn
They,
cool.
they don't make them like that anymore.
No, they don't. There's reasons. There are some of the.
Yeah, I was talking about that the other day. I think I had like a chemistry set at like age 7.
See, those things are so cool. Those things are so cool. Like I love those. Oh, so those chemistry sets, if you have them, oh, they go insane at toy auctions.
I don't have them anymore. I just remember something dried. I didn't have the one that apparently there's one. I can't remember the year. It's probably from the 50s, but it had like uranium in it or something.
Oh no, it had everything. Like I see. I still see. I don't. Maybe it shouldn't have uranium. Probably should.
Probably.
But I'm a big fan of the fact that you could do so much cool stuff with those chemistry sets, right?
That's what I did with it. I never had an easy bake oven, so like I had like chemistry sets and Legos and Playmobil and
so you had all the good toys. Like you had the good. You had the good shit. You had the good shit.
We had the G.I. Joe the airplane, or not the what's the one that goes in the ocean that the planes land on?
Oh, the aircraft carriers.
Yeah, we had that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was awesome. Had cool stuff.
That is really cool. That is really cool. No, okay, so I never had.
I can talk about this for like 2 hours.
No, dude, we can talk. I'm good with this. Like I got some time, so we got. I mean, that's what we're here for. Is talk.
Yeah.
So, like Lego is like the coolest toy in the universe. A secondary choice, the chemistry set, would be like number 2. Number 3 for me is the Slinky. I'm simple-minded. What can I
see? I had the Slinky, and my brother used it as a weapon, and I would wind up with the plastic one, and he would get the metal one. So it was not my favorite toy. But
older, younger brother.
Older. He's actually my editor because he wanted to have. He collected comics, and he wanted his name in the book, so he's my editor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, he had the metal Slinky. I could never get it to work. I loved Playmobil. I love Legos too, but see, as creative as I am, and I'm obviously pretty damn creative, I never went off the beaten path of the directions. Like, if it was a plane, it was a plane. Like, I don't remember doing anything like, creating this new thing from the sets or anything. I don't know why. I guess I didn't think very hard back then. Not that I think very hard now, but I mean. Yeah. I had the big bucket, so I must have had like different directions, and I maybe made like a car or something. But with Playmobil, I had like, I can't remember what I had. I know I had the cowboys and the covered wagon and stuff, and I think I had a pirate. I love that stuff. Now I gotta go. Is there a flea market going on somewhere? I didn't have like girly toys. I had like one Barbie doll that my mom had when she was a kid, and then one she tried to get me to play with, and that was it. I never had any kind of Barbie dolls or anything. It was always Legos, G.I. Joes. But I had an older brother, so I mean, it kind of went with that.
So again, you had all the cool shit.
I did.
You did have the cool shit. And I knew he was an older brother. Something told me he was an older brother because I too am an older brother, and I could totally see doing that. I just could.
That was it. That was all that, and we had Atari and Coleco. So I mean, I don't know if you had Coleco, but I mean,
I did not have Coleco, and I did not have Atari. I had Nintendo.
We had Nintendo after. But we had Coleco, and there was this game. So stupid. You're a Smurf, and you had to. you had to get to Smurfette, but if you don't jump properly over a plate of a little grass, like a little
Yeah.
tuft of grass, you die. Like you had to get over this. It's like this isn't poisonous grass. You had to get over this grass thing. It was really really weird. But yeah, when Nintendo came out, we would play Duck Hunt, and I don't know if you know this because we didn't know this back then. The second player controls the ducks. And we didn't.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
bastard.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yes. Oh, I did.
That wasn't really fair.
Oh, well, no, it could be like depending on how good the shot. Like it came to a point with okay, so I sucked at Duck Hunt. Right, I sucked at it. I just legitimately
Do
sucked
you
at
get
that
laughed
card.
at by the? Do you have therapy for the dog laughing at you? Because
I no, see, I got no therapy for the dog laughing at you.
Okay.
I just did what most rational people would do, right? And I would just, I just would just rage crit like everybody else would. You're not making fun of me, right? I'm just not
Yeah.
taking that shit. I ain't taking that garbage.
I don't remember any other Nintendo. I hated Mario Brothers, and I didn't know it. I couldn't remember why all these years I hated it. Now I was told you couldn't save, so there's no way I had patience. I kept dying at the very end of it. Like I never actually beat it.
See. You could actually see. This is the thing. You could actually shortcut all the games because they had warp zones. So you could actually warp your way all the way through to the end. You could do it. All the games have that ability to do it. Now, I gotta say, Mario 3 is far and away the most fun of all of them.
Is that the raccoon one?
Yes, you can be the
That's the
raccoon.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's the most fun one, and it's actually worth it to play the game. It actually is worth it to play it.
I think that's the one I played more because I like the raccoon. I never played Zelda, but I watched my brother play it, and I can't remember. I can. It's really sad. I can name off like 20 games on Atari I played, and I can't name off any other games on Nintendo that I played.
Well, hey, listen, no, it's cool. Like that was your first system, so
yeah.
I mean, you're always going.
You always remember your first.
You always remember your first system. Like I still remember Nintendo. I remember all the stupid games I played there. I played some of the Nintendo hard games, like the actual stupid, ridiculous, impossible games. I've played them. I've done it.
You know what? Until you play the Atari game E.T., I don't want to hear about difficult. That's the stupidest game on the.
No. See, I can go ahead. I can go head to head with you. See, I played Ghouls and Ghosts. Now, I don't know if you know anything about Ghouls and Ghosts. See, so here's the thing about Ghouls and Ghosts. This is why this game was so hard. It had no pattern. The sprites would appear genuinely randomly. It was so it's super hard. Contra is hard. Okay, if you don't do the Contra code, that game is ridiculously hard. It is ridiculously hard.
I don't think I was very good at codes. Like I think my brother probably knew code, but it wasn't like I can Google it. So you either like know somebody that had the codes or
no, yeah, exactly. You knew people. Like you know, you knew somebody. That's how you knew this shit.
It was like a drug deal going on. Like I'll give you this code, and then you give me a bar of chocolate, and I'll but you
exactly. No, that totally no. Hey, listen, chocolate.
The first code's free.
Hey, listen. You know as well as me, right? You know as well as I do, right? That as I'm actually advertising us now because I'm so good at this. I'm so good at this. But no, so like honestly, with everything happening and everything that goes on with these systems and games, like back in the day, man, you either had I was part of the Nintendo Club for a long time.
I could see that.
Yeah. You told I don't know if I should feel good about that or not. Right? I could totally see it. You would totally do that.
A compliment. Nintendo was awesome.
Oh no! The original Nintendo's is the shit.
I didn't. You know what's sad though? Like I was there for the original Nintendo, and now I feel guilty about it. I wasn't a loyal follower. I went to Sega. I went to PlayStation.
So okay. First off, there's no accounting for taste. We'll let you have that. Okay. Right, but I mean,
I think I had to go to PlayStation though because Resident Evil is. actually, this is a horrible story. So I had no systems when I was a teenager, and
Okay.
no, I think I played on my brother's. So I was watching. This is actually why I'm actually a writer for the horror. So this kind of ties into my whole life. So I was sitting there watching TV, and a commercial came on for Resident Evil 2.
Okay.
And it was the scene, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it was a scene where the crocodile comes out of the sewer and tries to bite Leon. I could not tell you what made me want this, but I ran into the other room and I told my parents, I need you to go buy me a PlayStation. And they're like, what? I was like, I don't care, whatever holiday's coming up, do it now. I need this game. And they're like, whatever. So I never asked for anything. So we went out, we bought PlayStation 1, we went and rented the game. It had no instructions. I'm trying to play this character. He keeps walking into the fire, and I got so mad, I threw the controller. And in comes my brother, picks up and starts playing, and I was like, what the? Get out of my freaking room. So I kicked him out, started playing it, got so obsessed with it, and then I went out and bought Resident Evil 2 and Final Fantasy 7 in the same day. And I was so pissed because Resident Evil 2 had auto aim, which I had no instructions before, so I didn't know there was an auto aim. So I was like, there's an auto aim? So, and that's actually what I role played Resident Evil for 17 years, which is why I started writing the comics. So it was that damn commercial. That's the reason I'm here.
Okay. So okay.
That's why I got PlayStation. So that's my loyalty to PlayStation. So it's nothing against.
Well. Okay. So here's the thing: Nintendo made a decision with the Nintendo 64. That was they would be a family system. There's nothing wrong with that. I honestly think that they're like. Right. I think they made all in all, they made a smart decision, I think. But it opened the door. It opened the door for PlayStation to walk in, and because at that time, you can talk about Sega and all the other systems all you want. Nintendo was the system. The Super Nintendo was the shit. It really, really was, right? It really, really was. No one. Like people go over and realize back in the day, when your choices were Nintendo, you had a Sega Genesis, and you had some TurboGrafx 16, and you had another one. I'm thinking the Sega Saturn or something like that.
Saturn,
yeah, right. And the Saturn was okay, but it didn't have a lot of games. That was the thing. Nintendo 64 was okay, but didn't have a lot of games. And some of the games from that era rule. But
what year was Dream? Isn't there one Dreamcast or something?
Yeah, there's a Dreamcast. That came a little later. That came a little later.
That just dawned on me. I was trying to think of what was Dreamcast, because I know I had Sega. I never had Nintendo 64. I had Genesis. Yeah. Because I played Sonic a lot.
See, it makes me you like Sonic, but not Mario.
Well, I wasn't very good at Mario. I don't know why. I was good with Sonic. I played Mario for the
same kind of game, except you got. I gotta admit, as a concept, I think Sonic's a cooler concept, but Mario's got Mario's advantage over Sonic was he was everywhere. So one of my favorite games from the Nintendo area was Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
I played that.
Mario's the referee. Mario is actually the referee in that game, right? So it's okay, right? And he was everywhere. So Nintendo's smart that way. But like I said, as far as places, at this point, my favorite system of all time is PlayStations 2 and 3.
I would say 2 for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have 3. I have 4, but I don't think I have 3.
Well,
I only played system when Resident Evil came out on it. That's how, I had to play GameCube because stupid Resident Evil 0 came out on it, and I had to play that. And then I was mad because they had gotten rid of the box. You had to just drop things and remember where you dropped it. And I was like, I have no memory for this crap. I don't know what this shit. I want my magic, unrealistic box. That's what I want. That's what I wanted.
So you want Link's Magic Backpack? That's what you want.
Yes, that's what you want. That's what I want.
You want Link's Magic Backpack?
You use your codes. I'm gonna use my magic box.
That's right. Magic box is magic backpack.
Life to carry my shit around. Yeah.
It's amazing that we can go back to that. Okay, so things I'm a Legend of Zelda guy. More so, and it's things you're guaranteed in every Legend of Zelda game. A bottle. You always get bottles.
Yep.
They're valuable.
What was it? The whirlwind would carry him places. The tornado would carry him places, right?
Sometimes. Depends on the game.
Flute or something would call it. I'm trying to remember all these little details.
Yeah. So you have the Ocarina of Time. Right? You have the Ocarina of Time. It would play. You could turn night into day. You could travel through time. You could do.
Damn.
Yeah, no, Link was cool shit. Ocarina of Time was cool shit, man. It was. So now I don't know if it's cool as the chemistry set. Like
Nothing
I
beats
was
the
born.
chemistry set.
What?
Nothing beats the chemistry set.
Maybe Lego. Maybe Lego. Maybe.
I know, but you can only But if you put them
Uh,
together,
well, you can. That's the thing. So I'll tell you my cool Lego story.
okay.
Physics class, grade 12. I built a fulcrum out of Lego.
Are you
I did a
serious?
yeah, serious. Yeah.
Awesome. Oh no,
It had flaws. It had its flaws, but no, Lego's the shit.
Yeah, Legos was awesome. I remember just my parents weren't happy about it, but just overflowing the bucket and just we had this big red bucket of Legos and just all over the place and putting them together. But I had Hot Wheels, so sometimes I would play with the Hot Wheels with the Legos and I can't remember any specifics. Maybe they didn't have sets back then like they do now. I don't think we had that. I can remember. I didn't have any themes. Like there wasn't like a movie.
There were, but they weren't as pronounced as they were today. Like you would come, they would have old school models and cities and stuff like that you could build.
Yeah.
I still remember because I used to be, so I was one of those weird kids. I could make highways out of playing cards, so they actually got me like an actual road and a town to build up in Lego.
Wow.
So I built. So yeah, but again, I wasn't great at it. I wasn't great, but I mean, I still remember it was my town, my city, my
yeah. Well,
right?
we had the whole basement, so we were allowed to we had all the GI Joe stuff set up. We had I think the He-Man castle, and it was our playground. But I remember my dad threatened us once that he would throw everything away that wasn't put away, and the bastard did it. He went.
No, you got that. See, listen. If you're a parent, so parents with kids. This is something like again. I have not been a parent, but I know this. This is something about kids that parents need to understand. If you're not going to follow through, the kid's going to figure it out. Right? Yeah. The kid is going to figure it.
I don't know if it worked though. I just got mad. I don't know. I'm still not a clean person. You would think that would have, if I could.
No. You're going to be who you are. But the thing is, that's not the point. The point was, okay, so here's the deal. The kid's job, the kid you bring into the world, his job is to try to take over the house. Your job as a parent is to make sure they're ready to do it. That's your job. But that means in the beginning, though, you have to be a tyrant. Because if you're not a tyrant, here's the deal: the kid's gonna walk on you. That's just the way it is.
But I'm still mad he threw away my puppet, man.
Oh sure, no. Listen, you know that, right? Like you're mad, but here's the thing: you respected your dad because here's the thing.
Oh yeah, my mom. Wait till your father gets home.
Well, yeah, because
actually worse. But it was all she had to say was wait till your father gets home.
Yeah, but the thing is that's the deal, right? Yeah. That's the whole concept. Because see, it's not that you gotta follow through on your word. That's what it comes down to.
It's true.
Right.
We talked about that in The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Through. Do you remember that? He told him he couldn't have dinner, and then he snuck him up. Did you ever see? Were you a Simpsons watcher?
Early Simpsons watcher. I haven't watched Simpsons in years regularly.
Well, I can't remember what the whole episode was, but I remember Bart did something wrong, and Marge sent him upstairs without dinner. Oh, it was the Itchy and Scratchy movie. Yeah. Because he told him he stuck him up pizza just when Bart was like, I better fly right from now on because he really means it and blah blah blah. And then the pizza came in and he goes, haha, sucker. But then he couldn't go see Itchy and Scratchy for like ever. And it was like 40 years later, he was like Justice Supreme Court or something. He went to go see it. So yeah, you're right. It's proof right there.
Yeah, looks like my client liked my work. Yay! I'm getting paid today or this week, and that's nice. And so as soon as we're done the chat, I'll send the invoice.
Nice. Right before we went on here, the reason why I asked you, somebody and it took a triple take. Mine had gone up $200, and I thought I was on the wrong campaign. Like I kept looking at it, like, oh, wait a minute, what happened here? So somebody did the higher tier. Actually, it was for the Anubis plushie,
Hi,
So,
Noobs plushies. This is my second energy doing plushies today, actually, like this
well,
week.
you know what? Plushies are awesome, and mine has his little staff. But it was the first. See.
That's awesome.
But this is actually my army of Anubis are back here waiting. Two people have bought. One person bought like one of every plush, so like $400 worth of plushies.
And you're like, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, like, damn, okay. And then this person bought the higher tier that had the plushie, which he's the first one to buy the tier with it because I had it as an add-on. And I bought a ton of them, even though people were like, "Oh, you're not supposed to buy it till after," and I was like, "Yeah, but then people have to wait for it, and who's not going to buy an Anubis plushie? I mean, somebody's going to buy it." And then there's my demon, which he's not technically in it, so I almost didn't have him in there, but he's so adorable in his little pirate coat. But he's not even until like I think he's book 2, so he just looks cool.
It's my cute little demon with a pirate. He's a pirate.
You know, it was so funny because I said this to my mom, and I was like, "Isn't he cute?" And she's like, "That thing is horrifying." I was like, "What? He's adorable. I love him."
See, you were one of those women. See. I have a theory. See, I have a theory about women. I have a theory about women. So hear me out on this, okay? Right? Hear me out. You might think I'm crazy, but I had a theory. So here's the thing. I noticed this. I'm a metal guy. So I go to metal shows and do mosh pits and stuff. And I noticed something about women. And I came to this realization. And I understood something about our history in a way I think very few people do. So I realized that women like skulls and other things.
Also,
Yeah. See, you're one of the, I had a hunch. I had a hunch about this. So here's the thing. So so now I see. And remember the old days? You bring the skulls of your enemies to
yeah.
Now I understand why. I actually understand why because see, it wasn't that the guy was really that bloodthirsty. It was like, you want this? Really? Okay. All right, I'll go do it. And so the guy would do so.
It's accurate.
It sounds like really scary accurate, right? Because it's
because my husband's not into. He does not like them. He thinks they're all.
I'm not saying that he hates them. He doesn't freaking care. Right? He
just
doesn't care.
Yeah. He's like, whatever you want.
Yeah,
but yeah,
exactly.
I have like 4 or 5 skulls. I have bats, mice. My friend sent me a box. There's a cat. There's a turtle. I don't know how that got in there. An alligator, a baby alligator.
See again. This illustrates a point. Skulls, right? So human history, folks. This is something this is my thing, right?
There's gonna be a paper written now by you on this, right?
Oh, that's at some point. No. I'll put this in fiction, in my fiction.
There you go.
Right. I'll put this in my fiction because in my fiction it's a lot better. Right. Because it's easier to digest. Here's the thing: if I put it in my fiction, you'll read it. You'll be like, "Oh, this is insightful." If I put it as a piece of nonfiction, you'll be like, "You're like, eh."
Right. And then somebody will look it up because, like, whenever I was in a movie and they said it was like something scary, so I always look up what's the true facts of this movie or whatever. So yeah, you make it a fiction. You're right. They'll come running for it.
Well, they'll be looking at that. It's like a cool little thing.
Yeah.
It's like this is a theory about you. It's like, yes, this is a theory.
I feel so predictable now.
But it's
actually comics too predictable.
No, it's just something I realized. Like, I understood this because I watched you. It's like, isn't this a cute little demon? And I'm looking at this thing and going, what the? Okay.
In my defense, technically, he's the god of the underworld, so he's not, bad.
He could be a demon. I mean,
he is a demon. Yeah, and he's actually in series 2, but he's better than right now. He's kind of being controlled, so he's kind of a monster. So yeah, but he's so adorable. Yeah, I love bats. I studied bats. I was gonna be a bat rehabilitator, so I love all that stuff. I think bats are adorable.
So they like I said, my sister has a pet lizard.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not allowed, but yes. My husband hates snakes. I want a snake. He's scared of snakes. Every guy I've ever dated, every guy was scared of snakes. All of them. Like what happened? What is with guys and hating snakes.
Okay, so the Garden of Eden story. That's the thing. It's like,
Wow. I'm this is a very insightful video here.
what?
Yeah, you know what? You're right. They screwed up. The snakes screwed up their whole lives. So
Yeah. So why would I want to deal with that? Like, just seriously,
this is very insightful.
it makes sense, right? It makes sense.
Blown.
Yeah, it's like.
I mean, we got apples out of it, but you got kicked out. So.
Well, no. Well, see, here's the thing: if you actually read the story, you don't actually know if it's an apple. It's a fruit of some kind,
right?
Right. It's a fruit. It's a fruit of some kind, but it's not necessarily an apple. It could be anything from a.
Also, if you read it, they're supposed to be the only ones left, the only ones created. But when they leave the garden, they join the others. So who are the others? And not only that, they only had 2 kids and they were male. So I don't know where the rest of us came from. So I guess it depends how you want to interpret them. The story.
Yeah. So, but I mean that's the later part of it when you go deeper into it. Yeah. But also, one kills the other, so it's just like But Adam and Eve apparently, right? So it's so I mean you keep reading it, the genius. So that's the other thing. Bible stories.
Probably know.
I think my actual least favorite part of the Bible is the pages of the genealogies. Yeah. This and then begets this, and this begets this, and this begets this. It's like, I'm not sure I need to know. I'm not entirely sure.
It's funny because all the demons and monsters in my story and the angels, all of them are accurate to their duties in scripture. So, yes. So we kept them all accurate. So all the ones in my story are accurate to how, if you look them up for scripture, is how. Yeah. Because I used to watch Supernatural, and they would just use any name of an angel or demon. It had nothing to do with the character or the story or the personality.
Okay, so Supernatural. Here's the thing about Supernatural. It was around for 15 years. Now let me tell you something. When you get this is what happened there. So they had a successful show. I mean, a really successful show, and that's to their credit. I take nothing away from them there. But here's what happens. You get to about season. Let's say your initial plan was you hoped to get to season 5. It was supposed to be
5. That's all. Right. Eric Kripke wanted 5, and then he quit. That's all he wanted from day one. He did not want to keep going. So
yeah. So he had 5 seasons. Right. He left. Well, the studio goes, we have a hit here. Yep. Keep going. So the guys that are coming in are like, well, what the fuck do we do?
He kept his word, though. Good for him. He kept his word. He quit at 5.
No, because again, he told a story. There's nothing else for him to tell, right?
Yeah.
So the first 5 seasons are probably the best seasons in terms of story overall, right? Yeah. That doesn't mean there weren't good things later, because again, you give someone enough time and an idea. But here's the thing: when you have 10 more years, you figure this out. That's 200 more episodes. Yeah. At some point in there, you're going to be like, you know what? I don't want to think that hard this week. What? Like, I just don't.
But they didn't have to think, though. All they had to do, they picked a demon name, and they never did anything with it. Like, Abaddon is this whole historic thing about the bottomless pit, and he was good and bad. But they just were like, oh, Abaddon, and some demon.
Yeah, but again, after a while,
didn't care.
You stop caring as much, because here's the thing: you come to this realization. This is the thing, okay? Imagine a story as a quality restaurant, okay? As a quality restaurant, okay?
Yeah.
So when you first come out, you want to put the best gourmet meals on the planet. Like that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And then as time goes on, but then you hit, I'm a hit. And then you go past all the cooking materials you had for this big gourmet meal.
Yeah.
And you're like, what else is in the kitchen? Got some bacon soda. Yeah, that's right. No, you get to that point eventually, right? Here's your mac and cheese. But the thing is, here's the thing, and this is to their credit. I don't actually think this is a bad thing entirely. Yeah. When you have a show that was around as long as that was, and that's a credit to the actor, that's a credit to everybody that worked on that show. Mm-hmm. You come to a point with it where it almost doesn't matter what's on the screen. Whoever's invested in, they're in the whole way, right?
They're very loyal fans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, and the thing is, they got their ending. I saw so. I stumbled on
better, but COVID kind of ruined the good ending. They're supposed to see
it ruined the elaboration of the ending. Right. Yep. It ruined the elaboration of the ending, but they still got an ending that still was pretty good.
I liked it.
Yeah. It fit both guys.
Yeah.
Right. So, but the thing is, they had to get to that point.
Yeah.
If you're a big Supernatural fan, you're going like, well, here's the thing. You're not going to tell me honestly as a fan that everything you watched was great. Look, look, anime wise, I love a show called Fairy Tail. I love that show. I don't get a chance to watch it very much. But here's the thing. Not every episode is meant to be good, and it's by design. Because there's over 300 of those episodes, so you do 300 episodes, that breaks your brain a little bit. Yeah. So you're doing shit just to entertain yourself. My favorite zombie story of all time is from Fairy Tail.
Wow, I don't know Fairy Tail.
So Fairy Tail is like a Babel anime, but what really makes so the formula for the stories generally are the same. What makes it good though is the characters all have a heart of gold. So this is one character this is their zombie story, right? He accidentally figured out a way to recreate himself with the chemicals he uses, the pheromone magic he uses.
Yeah.
Right, but it becomes a zombie infection. So everybody just goes into like this trance, right? Yeah. This trance becoming him, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like this weird apocalyptic.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, but it's silly, stupid, fun, right?
I will say that Supernatural after the 5th had way more human, funny shows. Like they I don't know if did you see The French Mistake, because that
no, I have not. I haven't gone that deep into the show. I'll tell you how I got into the show. Because this year I'm planning on going and taking my show on the road, right?
Yeah.
So Carry On Wayward Son is kind of my theme this year. Well, little did I know that it was Supernatural's theme this year. So I got exposed to Supernatural this way, right? Yeah. So no, of course I got
more. I got into the car. Like I showed up in the middle of an episode. I was like, this is stupid. And then there was another commercial and I saw the car, and I loved muscle cars, usually the Chevelle or something like that, but it was a gorgeous car. And that's literally why I started watching it. So I think I got in around 2nd season. So that's when I started watching.
And you watched you made it all the way through?
So I made it to season 9, and then I stopped because I started dating my husband, and it was like on a certain day of the week, and I think they just killed off my favorite. They killed off Bobby or something. I was like, whatever. So I hadn't watched it, and we just started watching it at the beginning of, or the middle of last year. So we're almost done with season 15. So definitely way more off the wall, like you said. There's a little things. There's like the one season I completely hated. I didn't like the Leviathans either. You probably didn't get that far, but
no. I'm just telling you straight up. Like you have to respect the fact, okay?
Yeah.
So 15 seasons on an average of 20 episodes. Let's just say 20 episodes.
At least 300.
Yeah, 300 episodes, right?
Yeah, they said at least 300, so it might have been more, because I remember them saying they celebrated the 300th episode. So
you've done 300 of these.
Yeah. So far, I think we're like 10 away from the end.
Yeah, so here's the deal. 300 so 310 episodes.
Yeah.
You broke your brain. Somewhere in there you broke your brain a little bit.
I broke my brain a long time ago, but that probably didn't help.
No.
For someone that didn't sleep a lot.
Yes. But at the same token, right? Yeah. At the same token, like 15 years of Supernatural.
Yeah.
Is like again, you're gonna at some point, and if you have something that long, that successful,
yeah,
you're gonna be like, fuck it, let's have some fun.
Yeah,
because you're just gonna, and because
and they did.
And they did, and they had fun with it.
And they want to do more, which they shouldn't. Like, I know people want more, but it ended. So you should kind of like let it go before you ruin it. But
That's the line, right? But again, okay.
Jensen's fighting for it. He wants it. He wants more. He didn't want to leave in the first place. It was Jared. He
Yeah.
wanted to leave. But Jared from the beginning said he didn't want to be doing it for years. And then he did it 15 years. And Jensen looks the same as he did. But yeah, Jensen got in a fight over because he started Winchester. I haven't watched it, but they started that show Winchesters and didn't tell Jared about it. And Jared's like, why am I not a part of this? And Jensen's like, yeah, I thought you didn't want anything to do with Supernatural. So they had a fight about it. But they must have made up because they do cons together. So,
well, again, friendship, your family. You've been together that long, your family.
Oh yeah, they were best man at each other's wedding and that stuff. Yeah,
kind of you're working together that long, that much day in and out, and you put together something really fun and different, and I mean it's a journey. So that's my point, right? When you get to something like that, when you're doing something like that, and you get that opportunity to meet and interact with some amazing people, you're gonna be close to them. You're gonna fight them sometimes, they probably in 15 years told each other the fuck off quite a few times.
Yeah, I like knowing that they were friends in real life. Like I actually was upset when I found out that Mulder and Scully in real life didn't get along for a while. I guess they did towards the end, but I loved X-Files. So to think that they didn't like each other for the first 3 seasons or something, that bothered me. Like I don't want to know that.
You don't. Okay, well, if they do their job correctly, you don't actually.
Well, they did because I would have never known. So they're awesome actors.
Yeah. So I mean, that's just it. Like you're a professional. Like you're supposed to. You're supposed to. How to put this? What's the job? Whether the person beside you or not. Like in a perfect world, you like the people you're working with. You really do. But that's not always the case. Some people make it very difficult to work with, and you just go, okay, what is the job? And you just focus on the job, and then you don't worry about your feelings.
Yeah,
that's it.
Not as easy as you might think, but I don't think I could do it that close. That like
you. I know how to. I can do it. I know how to do it.
Well, I could. But I see the thing is I've gone along with people that I didn't like. It's if they push it, like if they push me, like constantly pushing against me, and what I mean. Like I mean, not physically. I mean, you know what I mean.
Well, no. I get it. So this is what I've learned when you don't like somebody. This is what I learned when you don't somebody. Just okay. I'm not going to say it's warranted or unwarranted whether you like somebody because that is subjected to a lot of different things.
Oh, yeah.
But what I will say is once you make that decision that you don't like somebody, it's very easy to look at them and their habits and get driven crazy by it. Right? It's really right?
I can't think of anyone I've truly hated to revenge level. Like I've hated people that usually they do something to me first. Like I'm really easygoing. So I get along with everybody, but there's always one person that just wants to not be your friend.
Yeah, but again, going down that path, right? What you realize is that once you make that decision, it really doesn't matter how it's otherwise. Yeah, they bother you. They just do. So what you got to do is you realize that okay, I am annoyed by this, and then if you realize it's like this is me.
Yeah.
Right. It's not really their fault. Like you got to kind of make that adult decision in your head of right.
That's the way they were made.
Yeah, that's it. That really it doesn't matter. Or even going one step farther, it doesn't really matter why they're this way. Right? It doesn't matter. What matters is how can I
Is that construction?
I'm just letting my roommate make his thing. That's all good.
Oh, right? Is this like a smoothie or something?
Yeah.
I used to use the magic bullet.
Yeah.
My husband did that sound too.
Yeah. So anyway, I would say you find people that are going to just do their thing, and you don't have any real say one way or the other what they're going to do. So you can accept the fact. So you got to realize that if what they do has no real bearing on you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Though, unless they purposely go after you like try to making your life a living hell. Like I've had coworkers that I got along great with them, but they had this agenda to be against everybody else. Like she complained about everyone and everyone complained about her. So she was awful. Like I did not hate
sure,
her.
there are people like that.
Yeah.
I'm
just saying there's some people that no matter what you do, you can't just ignore them because they're just going to keep poking at you like a,
Well, actually, no. So what you do to them, this is what you do to them. You be unreasonably kind to them.
I was. She hated it.
Yeah, no. There's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
absolutely.
that's actually how I won because what she was doing. So, and I was warned not to work there because of her, from my mom. But I was like, nah, I need the job. So we were allowed to wear headphones, and I don't play it that loud because I have sensitive ears anyway, so I don't have to play them loud. So we were in cubicles, and she was right over the next one. You're not supposed to yell over the cuticle. You're supposed to talk, like the phone or whatever. So I got called into the new boss. I just started this job, and she says, okay, she said she tried to talk to you, but you couldn't hear it because the headphones. I was like, she didn't call me. She's like, well, if you could just lower them, fine. Happens again the next week. I get called in. She goes, you really can't wear the headphones because she keeps trying to talk to you. And I was like, I'll leave one out. She's like, fine. So I get called in. I go, you know what? I didn't even have them on. I waited for her to complain. I never had them on. So what I did was, after she said, okay, I went in, I said to her, go, if you call me and I don't respond to you, you can just let me know. You can just call me on the phone. And she never did it again after that. So, but
well,
like,
yeah.
why do people just like people annoyance?
Well, some people like to stir shit. This is true. Yeah. But the thing is,
an older lady, like you would think she would be like, she was the most, am I allowed to curse on the show?
You're allowed to say everything else.
She was the most, I always called her the professional bitch. Because she knew how to follow all the rules and just make your life a living hell by following those rules and twisting them to her own will. So she was very professional, but she was just the biggest bitch ever.
Well, but the thing is, how old was she?
She had to be, I was in my 20s. She had to be 50s. I mean, it was a lot of she didn't want me there.
She sounds bored.
Yeah, well, she was very religious and not in a good way. And like she would get mad at the stupidest things. Like our coworker was dating her boyfriend for like 17 years. And she would call him her husband because they've been living together for 17 years. And she would go off in a tangent. You can't say you're married. I went through the wedding ceremony. I'm officially married. You're not. What do you care what she calls her boyfriend? Like, what do you care? But she just cared about everything. So, but I don't know. I tried really hard to get her on my good side. And she mellowed out eventually. I mean, I was there for 10 years. But she literally made me cry my first week there. And I'm not a crier. I've cried 5 times in my life. She 2 of them.
So when I was working on Pure Later, I went to the morning shift. I had a gentleman who was a dick. Just a complete dick. But the thing is, so, I mean, after the second day, they moved me from he was a lead hand, but he was an asshole. And after the second day, I had decided that I was going to put his head through the wall. And so before I got to that point, I just stopped listening to him. Right before it got to that point, then they just moved because they realized he was a problem. So when I would come back while he was still in the shift, when they moved him from the spot, they put me back there.
Yeah.
When I would occasionally still work there when he was there. One time he started the shift. This is what I did to him. So this is what I did to him. He actually made it so I didn't have a pallet jack.
Oof.
And he did that on purpose.
Of course, he's a jerk.
So I stole his. I waited till first break. I stole his. I hid it.
Good for you.
And then at the
you get in trouble for this? I hope you didn't get in trouble for this.
I didn't get any trouble for this.
Good.
He looked for it all shift. It was funny. It was so funny, but I stole it on him. Afterwards, we had a little conversation. I showed it to him at the end of the shift. He was like, you can't do it. It's like, I'm going to do it. It's like, you did this on purpose. You knew I did not have a jack and you didn't care. Well, now you're going to care. And sure enough, because the next time I will steal every single jack you have. And you and I will be playing tug of war all night. Choice is yours.
Good for you.
Yeah, well, I don't need to take anyone's shit. right? So I don't care who you are. I don't care what rules you
Like those
follow.
inspirational speeches. You can be one of those inspirational speeches on the stage, but have like real advice to give people.
Oh,
Like,
I do. I do it on my motivational stuff, right? I just tell people
yeah,
I keep it real. I don't try to bullshit people. I just like this is it, man. I like I'm positive as a default setting because
me too.
because
Well,
nothing else works.
see, okay, here's my problem. I call myself an optipest because I expect every damn thing on the planet to go wrong, but the second it does, I get the most out of it. But I always think that things are gonna go wrong. But I'm not mad when they happen. I figure out the silver lining. But so I don't fit in it, so I just call myself an optipest. I
I
think
see, see. I don't think that's just like you understanding that the world isn't perfect isn't make you a pessimist,
yeah.
right? Look,
You always
I
think things are gonna go
I
wrong. Like
I,
it's gonna rain on a certain day, or or someone's gonna fall or get like I'm the what if girl. I would have been a great Boy Scout. Like,
yeah.
always be prepared. So
Well, that's the thing. Like that's not a bad okay. I don't think everything's gonna go wrong, but I don't expect it to go well, like perfectly either.
yeah.
Right. It's one of those like because it doesn't. This is not a perfect world.
You know what though? So this is what I always said. So some things can be perfect, but nobody ever believes it because they always are told that nothing's perfect. So or it's too good to be true. So when something actually happens and it's too good to be true, people destroy it. Like my co-writer is a dream come true. She for 2.5 years, she's the most amazing person I've ever met. And it took a year before she accepted the fact that I was actually as nice as I am because she's always been screwed in her life. So when I would do nice things for her, she would always think it's for another reason or not. And I just like really making people happy.
Yeah.
It
And
took a
that's
while
cool.
to accept the fact that it's not too good to be true. It is true, and at least for the time being, for the 3 years we've been together, it's been awesome. And
But
so
but but I mean, okay.
you
So
can
okay,
still be scared off by too good to be true. That's what everyone's temperament seems to be. It's too good to be
it's like
true.
it's not that I see. I don't know if I necessarily fully agree with that. I think it's more like this. I think most people start off like kind of you. Not that everything's gonna go like too good to be true. Being nice, genuinely nice, and finding people genuinely nice is not an impossibility. In fact, there's a lot of people that are genuinely really nice when you get to know them. But the thing is, I mean, we all wear to some degree, right? So, like that genuineness is
Mhm.
not something everybody has. People do what they do what they feel they have to do to protect themselves,
Right.
whatever that is, right?
Yeah.
So because again, there's people like your 50-year-old blah blah blah. I'm a professional bitch, right? There's lots of that out there. So
Yeah.
you gotta kind of protect yourself to some degree from that.
Yeah.
So and also, I mean, just you gotta come to terms with the fact that some days you're going to be that professional bitch yourself, or I'm gonna be that professional
I started
asshole.
my own business. So I'm already the professional bitch.
Yeah. So
But I work alone, so that's okay.
yeah. Well, then you just yell at yourself, which gets
Yeah,
really
all the
awkward.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm negotiating. It looks like I got myself a gig if I want it. I'm negotiating. There's a little part of me a little apprehensive.
See? You're worried it's too good to be true.
No, that's not what I'm worried about here. This isn't what I'm worried about
You're
here,
worried about.
actually. I'm worried about the fact that there's a part of me hesitant to do business with the person,
Oh, yeah.
and
I feel
there,
that.
yeah, it's not too good to be true.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but-
But you know what? You got to be careful though, because see, that's the thing. There's a fine line between your instincts and fear. Like, which
yeah.
is it? Am I? Do I feel like something's gonna go wrong and I shouldn't do it, or I'm just worried something might go wrong? And it's very hard to tell the difference. And half the time, I probably get it wrong.
Well, so I gotta give a follow up response, right?
Yeah.
So they're trying to build something a certain way. I'm I'm hesitant because I get the feeling this is more work than I'm anticipating it to be.
Mm,
That's kind of what I feel like.
yeah.
I feel like I'm going to have to be showing them some things, and they're going to have to kind of accept some things. But also, I got to nail something down, like a payment schedule, because
Yeah.
I'm
I
right.
understand. Yeah. 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 I mean, it's. I mean, I've gotten screwed over. I trust. Oh, it's so funny because I can be the most. I always fear everyone's going to screw me over, but then like I always get screwed over because I'm too nice. Like my first artist screwed me out of $3,000, and then I lost $5,000 doing it. So that screwed me over. But I did the same exact thing with my second artist, and it was the best thing ever. So I should have learned, but I didn't. And so far it's working out great because I can trust. I mean, I was a little weary. he did half the book before I even paid him. He's like, listen, I'm in this. I'm gonna do the first 15 pages, and then you just pay me then. And I was like, you know what, that works for me.
Yeah.
So and it worked out, and now he's done three issues for me, and I gotta tell you, he's the most amazing I could have.
Oh yeah. Well, that's just it. Like, you don't know what someone's going to be like doing business with them until you actually do it. Yeah. I just like, that's not what worries me about this job. What worries me about this job is there's an opportunity. Like, it's an interesting challenge.
Yeah.
But it also feels like I'm going to be doing a lot of education, and I feel like so the thing about freelancing is you're trying to avoid, like, your cost to do business is to avoid resentment.
Yeah.
Right.
I run my own business, so yeah. Two.
Yeah.
I run two.
Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about? Like, your rates are to protect you, so you can actually, it's on some degree, either enjoy what you're doing or you have more time to do what you want to do.
Yes, very much.
Right. So what I'm deciding is, but he basically, he said, and now what he's saying, and now I'm like, how much work are you trying to get out of me? Because there's going to come a point, right?
Yeah.
So
don't screw yourself over.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, because see, I run my own business. I have clientele that I have to please, and I'm a good people person, so it works out. But a lot of people try to negotiate my rates, or they try to get me to work on a day off because it suits them better. And I learned early on that I was going to stand my ground.
Yeah, you have to. You have to.
Because I have the hardest time saying no to people, and then I'd be working. I actually lowered my days. Now I only work like 3 days a week. Because one, I do the comics, which is a whole freaking job in itself. Mostly promoting it's the most work, but I do that, and then I work. But I used to work all the time, and I used to work long hours, and then they still want more. They're never happy, and usually the ones that ask for things. This is going to sound awful, but usually the ones that ask for things are the least appreciative. You know, like they're either late, or they don't show up, or they screw you over, or they don't, whatever. So,
So what I've learned in this business is people will roll in and out until you find a steady clientele. So the job's intriguing. I could definitely do some interesting stuff with it, right? For sure. And what the base job is something really simple to do, right? But I'm outlining a couple things for the job. Like I said, if I take it, I'll be starting this month, and I'll be getting paid. Like, the way I'm going to arrange it is I get paid at the first of the month, basically, or the end of the month, one or the other. So if I'm working for material for next month, I'm doing it now, and you're paying me, or you're going to be paying me at the end, right?
Okay, but are you giving them things before you get paid?
It's going to be it's kind of a back and forth thing. Like the nature of the job, the nature of this job. Is it's writing work, right? It's so they're gonna have to see the work to approve the work.
Yeah. So that makes sense. Because for us, what I wound up doing, because I felt better about it and I trusted them. So he does the first, let's say, half the book before I pay him. But then I pay him. When I pay him for the rest of the book and half of the next one. And then he does all that, and then does 15 after that. So we kind of go back and forth.
And so basically the idea is I'd be paid on a month. It's 4 articles. They're not big articles, right? And there's a rate. I have a basic. I'm doing it's ghost written, so I'm charging a little bit more for the word count than I would normally.
Oh, is ghost writing? You don't get credit? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get credit. Now, this is, again, these articles are small, which is why I'm not charging. Part of me thinks I should have charged more. That's the actual honest thing.
Don't, just because it's small doesn't mean you don't have to think about things and
no. I do. Like, the question is the big two questions I have is I asked for so it's a publishing company.
Right.
And one of my interesting little red flags so far is So what are your books coming out about? Because it makes sense, right? If I'm going to write about your
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
I should have at least a base concept of what the books are
yeah. I've
about.
been asked that a lot lately. They want me to write their stuff. I don't
Well,
write
no,
other
no,
people's.
I got no problem with that.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah. If they don't have
right.
any info, is that what you're?
Yeah, well, if you're gonna build you want to get readers to come to your
Yeah,
book. Okay, I wrote an Alice in Wonderland Greek mythology mashup called
nice.
Alice Zero. Right, say you can go get it on Amazon if you want to get it.
Yeah,
Right, I'll put the info up when the episode's done if
I
you're
love Greek
interested.
mythology. My series too is Greek mythology and Egyptian and all that stuff. So
Yeah,
I love all
yeah. So I made Alice Pandora. So
that.
that's
Nice.
what yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it works really well. But the thing is, okay, so I have a base concept, right there, right.
yeah. Mhm.
So okay, who's going to like this? Alice in Wonderland fans, Greek mythology fans, theater kids, people like enjoy some degree of fantasy like that, some
Mhm.
horror fans. So I have one, two, three,
Your
four,
genres.
five. Yeah,
Yeah,
my genres. I have my themes. I have an idea of who might like it
yeah. But
because I know who reads that kind of stuff, right?
yeah, yeah,
Who reads that? Well, adults, kids, right?
yeah,
Well, mostly, but in Alice in Wonderland's case, most of the people that read it are people that like usually again teenagers and up,
yeah.
right, teenagers and
Mine
up.
too.
So
18 or either.
yeah, right. So I know this. So my article. So if I were to advertise Alice in Wonderland, then
Hmm.
I must then I must. How do I put this? I must then think in terms of how will this reach this audience or this audience or this
Mm,
audience, right?
right.
So that's me. That's how I see this. So any articles, any promotional materials I'm making are going after that, who I think is going to read this stuff.
Yeah,
That's it. That's it. It makes sense, right?
yeah.
So I asked them about their publishing line, what's coming up. And the answers aren't this specific.
Oh,
So I'm in an awkward spot. I'm
so do you
like
not know what you're getting into?
that's the apprehension.
Yeah, I'd
That's
be up for it too. Yeah.
that's the apprehension. When I ask a question like this, and folks, this is the way I'm looking for. The more specific you are, the better it is for me to be able.
Hmm.
The easier you make this for me, because if you're going after, it's like because I truly believe this. If you're going to market yourself, you got to be who you are.
Yeah.
Right, the best thing that advertises you because you are going to be what people are
Oh
gravitating
yeah.
towards.
The only reason I have the successful business I have is because of my personality. I mean,
Yeah.
they're loyal to me, and this is gonna sound awful. So, but it's been 6 years. When I first started, I was awful at my job. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I mean,
Sure.
I don't know what the hell I'm doing with my comics, but um,
Yeah.
I'm learning as I go. But I jumped into both endeavors, and that's just kind of how I roll. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's better to be lucky than smart because it's
Oh,
working out.
sure.
But
Well,
the people
it's
liked me; they trust me, so I
yes.
learned to do what I need to do, and they stuck around for that. And now they're incredibly loyal people. And several of my clients from that, since they heard me talk about my comic, are actually supporting my comics. And 3 of them
Yeah.
support it. They don't even read comics, but the rest love it and read it. And I got a text from one of them that said, "I read it 7 times. I can't wait for the next one." And so really the beginning of the campaign was my loyal clients supporting me. So that is the only reason why it did as well as it did to begin with, because they're
Well,
awesome and they know me. And now I mean, I know it's a good story, but the point is to get it out, you know? So if my personality, I've talked to some people that kind of don't have that much of a personality, so it's kind of hard to get excited about their book when they're not excited about their book.
well,
So
yeah. I
the
tell this to people.
personality comes out, it's important.
It's the we're in the relation. We like I tell authors this. They hate this. It's the truth. We're in the customer service industry.
Yep.
We are. That's what we
Yep.
are. So that's what we are, and we have to be honest about that. What that means is we must build human relationships.
Yep.
That is our
They don't like it.
business.
I'm lucky because I'm not really this is gonna sound awful too. I don't consider myself a writer. I actually consider
Lies.
I consider myself a storyteller. I could not write a novel. I couldn't.
It
People keep
doesn't
asking me
matter.
to write their stuff for them, and no, it's different because when you're writing properly, and I tried for like I don't the whole show don't tell thing
Properly.
properly. Well,
Properly.
I the whole show don't tell. I tell. That's all I do in my writing. I tell, which is why the comic is perfect because the art is showing what I'm telling.
Yeah,
So it actually was a great fit, because I wrote the 5 novels first for fun, and it was it's not something you can publish, but the comics just fit so perfect with it. So yeah, I'm obviously considered a writer, but I can't be. I keep getting people coming to me and say, "Oh, I love your story. Will you write my story?" And I was like, "No, I'm not a writer. I'm a storyteller.
Okay.
I can tell you an awesome story."
Okay. So let's break that down. See, you're not a prose writer.
Yeah, we could say that. I'm not a
Yeah.
professional or a
No.
novelist. I'm not a novelist. So yeah,
You're not. See, that I'll give you. See, I can give you that.
yeah.
Not a writer. Lies. Don't say
Okay,
that.
fine. I'm a writer. Just I consider myself a storyteller. I
Yeah.
am an amazing storyteller. I have
So
amazing ideas and amazing stories.
so and it's good to be that confident. I just want to correct that right here, right now, because it's like
But
no.
see, it's a misconception though, because I have these people that come to me. I've had 4 this week that say, I have this awesome story. I want to hire you to write it. I'm like, I can't write your story. I have to be passionate about it, and it's not something I could turn it into a script maybe, but I could not like go write an article like a
But
story. I could do a short
okay,
story.
so it's getting about tailoring to your strengths too, right? Look,
Yeah.
there's different kinds of writing.
Yeah.
There's technical writing. There's nonfiction writing. There's essay writing. There's interview writing. There's audio writing. There's
I'm an
scripts.
artier. That's
Right,
what I
right,
do.
right. Right.
Yeah.
There's lots of different ways to write a story.
Yeah.
Not including like stuff like video games and new stuff like video games, which are like these tier based, like these like these branch based kind of stories.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, there's so many different ways to write.
It's funny
Right.
because I did try to write as quote unquote the proper way. Like I read all the words you're not supposed to use, the show don't tell, and I tried it for 2 days and it broke my brain. It took all the fun out of it. It exhausted me. When I sit down, I don't think ahead. Like yesterday, I sat down, I wrote 1,000 words in an hour, and I wrote a whole chapter, and that's my story. I don't go back, I don't edit it. I read it over, make sure it makes sense, but I don't go through the whole, oh, I said the word she too many times or whatever. It's just a story. But when I tried to do the show don't tell, it's not the way I write it.
It's actually so the secret of the show don't tell is, and this is something because I struggled with this for a long time too. Is it's not what you say, it's what you don't.
Yeah, but see that it's too much thought. I could tell you if I really truly wanted to, like anyone else, I could probably learn it. But it's just not the way that I ever want to do it because it's just so It was so exhausting to me.
It wasn't fun.
It wasn't fun.
For
Yeah, it was completely not fun. When I write down and write my stories, like for these, I wrote them as novels first. And even when I add a small scene, like I added a conversation between her angel father and the demon father. I had to write it as an essay first, and then I went and converted it to a script. So I don't write script. That's why everyone's like, "Oh, your dialogue's so good." I was like, because I write it like a novel. I don't sit there and think, what should I say now? I just write. And I think it's different. Not a lot of people, like a lot of comic people, will be like, "Oh, I just write in scripts." And I was like, "Yeah, it's not the way my brain works.
You don't have to. There's more than one. Okay, even with comics, there's more than one way to put a comic together. Like Stan Lee would do the Marvel method. Here's the plot. Draw something, guys. Right?
Wasn't there? So someone was saying on the video the other day that they would have the art first, and then somebody would write the script for the art.
Yeah.
That seems a lot harder.
Well, no, it is, and okay, I ended up I have a book that's kind of like ready for print. Like I can actually do a Kickstarter. It's actually a comic. It's called the Stick Figure Revolution.
That's awesome.
I Marvel method the story. because this is what happened. So I hired this gentleman to do an issue of the book way back in the day. I sent him a script. Oh shit, probably 8 years ago now, right?
Yeah.
So what ended up happening was he disappeared for like 2 years.
Wow.
He comes back 2 years later and he delivers this book.
You didn't talk to him the whole 2 years?
No.
Wow.
No, I didn't. I considered it a wash, like the
Yeah.
book, a wash. So it comes back. Okay. And I'm like, okay, I look at it, I can't find the script. So I have no fucking clue what's being said or done. So I had to Marvel method this. No. See, I decided to break my brain one step further. Step further. I Dr. Seussed it.
Really?
Yes, it did. It hurt.
Nice.
It hurt my brain.
It hurt
very, very much.
Oh,
no. Dr. Seuss is not easy to do at all.
No, it's not even easy to read.
Sometimes they're very easy to read. Sometimes they're not so easy to read. But
I loved Dr. Seuss when I was a kid.
Oh yeah. My opinion, one of the 3 greatest graphic novelists of all time. But
yeah.
Right, my opinion. But the thing is, right? I tried it. It hurt.
Yeah.
I did it. I took the story I had and I told it that way. So I have a Marvel method a script in my life, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I realized is you can tell a story. It doesn't matter how you do it. What matters is that do you have a beginning, do you have a middle, do you have an end?
Yeah.
Right. And even more, and even if you don't have a middle, do you have a beginning and an end? You can figure out the middle.
Yes.
How do you get there?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. So my co-writer and I wrote the story, and we're our peers. So we write, and then they write. Like I would write for her, and she would write for him, and then you write back and forth. We would get excited about an ending or a scene that happened, and we will skip to that. We would write the whole entire scene, and then we would find a way to connect the two, no matter what the scene was. And it actually made the story so much far more interesting, because all these. You have no choice. That's what you have to get to, and you have to figure out. So it makes you think so much more, and that was fun because you would get these little things like, "How can we get to this?" I was like, "We said they do this. Now we It's not like we published it, but we wrote it. So we said now the rule is we have to get to that." And I think that's like by the time when we were writing, the first 4 books were so out of the way. Like we had to put them together before. I was like, did you know we have like 4 books of like 90,000 words each? And we didn't even realize it because we would jump across the books. They were not written technically in order, but they flowed so well together that it really worked out. So yeah, I could see you kind of you have to follow. It makes you think, but in a good way, not in exhausting.
It's good to have a map of where you want to go, right? It's good to have a bit of a map of that. It doesn't mean you're going to follow it. Sometimes that goes out the window too. But but you have to. What matters is that you tell the story however you tell the story.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. Doesn't matter what your education is. It doesn't matter what style you've written it in. None of that shit matters. None of it. What matters is what's your beginning, what's your ending, what's it about. That's it. That's all anyone cares about.
Well, good, because I like mine. We actually had the ending first, so.
And sometimes the ending comes first. Sometimes the beginning comes first. Again, does not matter. Here's what matters. Can you tell that story? Yes. However you tell that story. I don't care. Hell. Right? No, I mean that I keep it incredibly simple because again, I don't think in one sense what we do isn't complicated. And what I mean by that is we're telling a story. So
it's not complicated to me. Promoting's complicated.
Promoting storytelling too, though.
Yeah,
that's the thing. No, okay. So there's 2 ways to promote. There's 2 things you got to promote, right? Your story and you.
Yeah.
Right. And you can choose which one you want to focus on more. I do suggest, maybe your story first, but a little bit of you too, because here's the thing: you're going to come back, right?
Yeah.
So one of my advertising little things I did is I actually in one of my novel I had a zombie mobster, Chester.
That's awesome.
Right, I had a zombie monster. So I interviewed him in the story, and then the main villain showed up to be his translator.
Nice. That's awesome.
All he said was the word brains in just different ways. Right. That's his whole dialogue. Right.
That's awesome. He's like a
So
Pokemon.
kind of like a Pokemon, kind of like Dude Man, kind of. So I meant so basically, how you can communicate a lot with the word dude. I
Yep.
decided you can communicate a lot with the word brains.
Yeah.
Right. So he would
My word
just
is really. Everything's really in every sense. Like I could say it mad or confused or happy, like really, or nervous, like really, or
yeah.
I didn't realize I said it all the time, and so my husband engraved it on the back of a keychain, and I was like, "Why does this?" Because you say it all the time. Is like really? He's like, "Yes." I was like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. So again, but that was marketing. I
Yeah,
told a story about interviewing a zombie mobster.
I like that. That's a good
Yeah,
story.
yeah, it sounds fun, right?
Yeah,
So
read it.
here's the thing: like when you put together work, it's like, okay, I gotta sell my shit. Okay, oh, fuck, how do I sell my shit? Well, it's simple. I'm gonna have okay. What? Okay, I have 10 rules of success. The 10th rule is, when in doubt, have fun. So what stupid shit can I say that can get people invested that this is out there? That's pretty much it, right?
Yeah.
That's the game. Like this is not. This is marketing is storytelling. Marketing is pro wrestling. Marketing is you think I kid? It's the
No,
truth, right?
no.
Right. It's true. You have to go out there and go, here I am, world, and I'm awesome. Yeah, brother. Right? And you
A
are
little
going to
less
come.
creepy, yes.
What?
A little bit less creepy.
Yeah, maybe a little less creepy.
Well, maybe not. It's a horror story, so it fits.
Yeah. It's like, well, no,
Outside your
go.
window.
Yeah. It's in such a way that like you go in there, you have to like realize, okay, don't complicate this. Like just okay, you're excited about your work. Be excited about your work, right? And let
Right.
people know it's out there, and let people know that you're out there, and people that you can be found in all these wonderful places. Don't how do I put this? Don't make this complicated. And then because if you tell people, if you believe, hey, I got the greatest thing in the world, I had so much fun doing it, you have so much fun reading it, it'll be a blast. Let's like go read it. People can feel like that real enthusiasm out of you. Oh, you've done the work,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's it, right? You, marketing and storytelling are the same thing. You're trying to evoke an emotional response. Marketing has this thing. Do I have your attention? Ladies and gentlemen, do I have your attention, please? Right? This book is amazing. You should like totally buy it. Right? And see, and again, I'm being entertaining about it. I'm having
Yeah.
fun with it. Suddenly, if I had a product to go at the end of that, you'd be like, oh shit. Maybe she was right?
Yeah.
Because right? And you're like, take my money. Wait, what the fuck? Right? But that's but hey,
I heard that
listen.
in Fry from Futurama. Take
That
my
is
money.
so no, it's so like okay, like we mentioned Simpsons earlier. Like we
Yeah.
mentioned Simpsons earlier. Futurama is overall funnier than
Shut up and
Simpsons.
take my money.
Yeah, I love that line. Shut
I
up.
use it all the time. I'm like, shut up and take my money. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because it's so good. Because
Yeah.
it's the honest truth. It's like okay, you got my attention. Don't
Yeah.
ruin it. Just shut up. Take
Yeah.
my money. Go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That works.
And I say this to the writers: just shut up and talk about your book. I don't want it because I'm shy and shit. It's like shut up, talk about your book, right?
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah, it's like that's it. It's not like rocket science. Like
Yeah.
it really isn't. Right? Like I said, and here, living proof. Alice chases Jason, not Jason. Alice chases the Queen of Hearts over the edge of the world and ends up in the Greek underworld, where to escape she must play croquet against Jason and the Argonauts.
It's
Like,
awesome.
that sounds awesome, right?
Yeah.
While in this game of croquet, Alice and company encounter gods, monsters, and the most terrifying thing of all, themselves.
Nice.
There you go. Not hard, right? I shut up and told you about your book, and you're like, "Fuck you for making this sound so simple."
Yeah, that
Fuck
sounded
you.
way too easy. I can't do that. Like I'm gonna have to learn because I have like 10 cons to go to, and I have to.
So why do you like your book? Actually, we'll do it like this. Why do you like your book?
I love my book because it is nonstop action. The characters are awesome. The two main characters have an incredibly strong bond, that goes beyond reason. And I love all the villains. Almost everyone's a villain, including one of the main characters. And I like the story it tells. I like how I like that the main villain of all this heaven and hell crap is a human. He's like the worst of all of the demons and monsters and angels. He's the worst.
Okay.
Um,
so here's the only thing I will suggest to you. Okay, this is the thing.
Yeah.
I'll go one step further. This is how I would do it if I were you.
Yeah.
What's your story about? Specifically, what's your story about? See if you can break it down to 2 sentences.
See, that's the problem though. Like if I was on the basic level, it's a survival horror. Okay, it's action-packed horror story. But
from what I can see, it's a husband and wife team killing demons.
Well, kinda, but they're not married and they're soulmates. But but that's the thing though. But see, that makes it sound like everyone else's when it's not. It's not. I mean, it's
okay. So what's so different about it?
Because so she's an angel descendant. He's a demon descendant. Okay. Their fathers are at war, and they're after this weapon that she was actually created out of centuries ago. Okay. He was created by the demon father to go after her to get the weapon, but instead they were fated to be together, so they actually wound up being in love. And every 100 years they're reincarnated, and every 100 years their parents go after them to try to get this weapon. Go ahead.
So basically this is a horror love story across the ages. Star-crossed lovers across the ages. Yeah. That's what this is.
Yeah. So her father is an angel, and he needs to get the weapon back to save his wife, who the demon locked up. And the only way to get it is to use the weapon. The demon wants the weapon because he has the power of souls, and he can shift the war of hell to overcome the heaven war. Their main goal is to protect this weapon because her death is what activates it.
Okay. So both sides are trying to kill him.
Yes.
Yes. Both sides. I mean, if you were doing this like a steamy romance, you could talk about their forbidden love crossing 2 boundaries, right? Yeah. Right. That would be.
But I'm worried about the romance part because it's not mushy.
No.
But horror people might not like the romantic part, and romantic people might not like the horror part.
But the thing is, I wouldn't worry about that so much. This is what I would worry about. What is your story?
What is my story?
No. What I mean by this is, okay, instead of trying to appeal to one audience or many audiences or whatever the audience is or blah, 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 what's your story? Right? And the thing is, because here's the deal. Okay, there are people like, for example, Alana Andrews out there. Alana Andrews writes an urban fantasy about basically an all-powerful or semi-powerful, semi-all-powerful, basically, witch for all intents and purposes, and she's bonded to this like shape-shifting lion. But the thing that makes that book so really damn good is it's a detective novel with romance, with urban fantasy elements to it, with epic fantasy elements to it, right? It's all that's cool stuff. But what really makes the book tick is the relationship between Kate and Karan. That's what this book's about. It's really about 2 people finding each other and falling in love in spite of themselves. That's what the story is about. And the thing is, it works. Why does it work? Because it's got all these cool little like things to it, but at heart, it's about 2 people falling in love with each other, and they sound like a married couple. And like a legitimate married couple, and it's hilarious, right? So that's the thing. Like it doesn't. You don't necessarily have to reinvent the wheel, right? You don't have to reinvent the wheel, but what you have to do is you got to be like, what is your story about, and why do you like it so much? Because if you can do both of those things, like, okay, you love horror and scary shit, but you also and this is just based on very quickly just some of the things I've picked up from you. You like a good love story.
Oh yeah, they're bonded, right? Yeah.
So it's a good love story that has horror. That's also a little terrifying. Right? Okay, you know what? Do you know what that puts you in the young adult category. There's nothing wrong with being in the young adult category, right?
Sure.
Yeah, right. You're like, yeah, sure. I never thought of it like that. Shut up. Just why it's right. Shut up. Right. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Like that's the thing. Like this isn't the story you tell, right? Your twist is your own. But by and large, the twist you come up with is your thought. But the truth of the matter is, like every story has been told. The difference is are you telling it? What's the twist you're bringing to the story? You understand if you can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mashed up Alice in Wonderland and Greek mythology. That's my twist. But here's the
Mm-hmm.
thing: I'm also doing stupid shit for my own amusement. Like Alice is playing croquet against Jason in the underworld. That's the story. They're not fighting physically in Mortal Kombat, really. They're playing croquet.
Yeah.
They're playing croquet because Alice wants to escape the world she's trapped in, and Jason has his own reasons for doing so. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I thought that's the more interesting story, and that's what. And again, there's nothing new really to it. I'm silly about the croquet thing, but when you sit there and think about it, it's really about someone. It's Alice trying to escape her dream, and the dream trying to keep her there. That's what Wonderland is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, right, I'm not saying anything new, but my twist is mine,
Right.
and I'm just honest about it. Am I gonna offend Alice in Wonderland? How dare you use Greek mythology to do this? I'm like, meh. And the Greek guys goes, you can't use Alice in Wonderland. Just watch me. I don't give a shit. Right? Here's what I think. Right? If you want an entertaining story about an entertaining coming of age story about somebody dealing with their inner shadow, there you go. That's what the story is. Right? And there are people that are going to want that. Again, I don't delude myself with what my story is or is not, and I'm not worried about who or what. And here's the deal: if I piss somebody off, I'm going to make more money out of them. That's how I look at that. That's the right. That's how I see it.
Right.
Right. So that. I mean, that might make me not sound like an asshole. It's just me being honest. Right. It's just like I'm going to do my thing. And I don't really care in the sense that you like. I hope you like it. I want you to like it, but I have to accept the fact that I'm not here for everybody. I'm here for people like me.
Right.
So why do I like this so much? There you go. Dun, 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 dun. It sounds like I like. It took me a while to figure that out, but it's like you got to be confident in what you're presenting. And again, you wrote it for a reason.
Right.
So you're excited about it. I can tell you're excited about it. So this marketing crap. I mean, you don't want to put all your time into marketing this crap. But here's the thing, right. You're not doing it. So again, it's about making this process much like the writing process. It's about making it fun. Because if you can make it fun, people will come along with you for the ride.
If you build it, they will come.
Okay. Let's try it like this. So I go, I got this wonderful book for you, and you're gonna be like, oh shit, here he goes again for another sales pitch. Let me go another way. It's like play a game, and you'd be like, what kind of game? You're not necessarily not gonna. You're a slightly different mindset.
Stop ruin that phrase for everybody.
Not every. No, not enough. Trust me. I've seen grown. I've seen grown. I've seen my very first book signing. I did everything wrong. Didn't advertise it. None of that shit. But this is what I did. So this is back in the days when offices still had printers regularly.
Yeah.
I printed out a giant arrows and I taped them to the cement. People followed the arrows.
You're like P.T. Barnum, man. He did that. P.T. Barnum did weird shit to get them in.
But the thing is, but you got it. But again, how am I doing it? Yeah. I'm not doing it in the sense of I'm trying to get you to buy something to come to me to buy. I'm doing it. It's like I'm playing with my audience. I'm interacting with the audience.
Right.
Right. Because here's the thing: you want to play a game. The Saw. It's like you went to Saw because it's like I don't want to acknowledge he's right. That's why you went there.
No, I'm just thinking you want to play a game. That's all
Yeah.
I think about. But yeah, he
Yeah,
ruined
yeah.
it.
Dude, but again, human nature is to engage,
Yeah.
right? So what marketing ultimately is storytelling, engagement, and building relationships. How is that different than what you do with your business?
I'm not used to doing shows for my business.
No, I mean it's a different environment, but it's the
Yeah.
same thing. It's the exact same thing, right? Right? It's the same thing at the end of the day. It's just you're going out there, you're meeting people, and you're telling them about your product, and you got to be excited about it because you made it, and you should because you did make it, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks.
You're like, thanks. So you're like, thanks. I didn't expect it. Like you worked on it, right? You got to
Yeah.
believe that. You have to believe that.
For years, and it was an idea that I created 17 years ago. So it was a story I held on to. Actually, it's funny because I'm a role player. So for 17 years, I role played as Claire from Resident Evil. And I had this story idea, and all the writers that I wrote with were amazing, and they all wanted the role. And I was like, no, sounded wrong, but this is a special role. This is a special role, and I'm waiting for the right person. And it took 15 years to find them. And the first day I talked to her for like 4 seconds, I said, this is going to sound crazy, and I never ask anybody to take a role, but I have a role that I think that you would be able to, I think you'd be good at. And she goes, well, I never take roles, but yeah, I'll take it. And then that was it. Our whole role. 3 years later, and we had 5 novels written. So, I mean, 10 novels written. So, but yeah, it was a long time. And we make fun of it because in the story, the lovers are separated for 10 years, and they think that each other's dead. And I said, I technically took 10 years to find her at the beginning. I said, so that kind of, now we can relate to the story and the characters. They both had to wait so long.
There you go.
She always gets so mad that it took so long, because we were actually role playing the same genre, but we never crossed paths in the 15 years that we role played, until that one day. And she wasn't even supposed to be on there, and she made a character that I don't usually RP with, so it's kind of this whole thing. And she doesn't usually add people, and I don't usually add people, but yeah, it was just one of those
right place, right times.
Yeah. So we still marvel at it, how it happened, and how we wrote it so quickly. And I mean, the ideas that we have for this story are like never ending. We're mad because the never ending story stole our title. That would have been the perfect title for this story, because we have
I mean, you got some cool options with this concept from based on what I've heard. So I mean, yeah, you could tell it as long as you want to.
Well, this story, so series 1, Redemption is 35 issues. We have 5 books. We're going to have 5 graphic novels, and each one is about 7 issues. Series 2, we started writing, and we're only up to 3 issues, but it's probably going to be another 20 or 30. The spinoff we wrote is already up to 25 issues, and we're still writing it. Like, she wrote a chapter today. And then the prequel, we already wrote 5 issues, and it's probably going to be another 30, because we're going to explore the fathers through each time period, how they chase them through. So we get to write their characters in medieval times and Viking eras and all that stuff, and we get to come up with their creative deaths, which will be fun. Yeah, so we got a lot of ideas, but we just think of something and then we write it. So we don't sit there and like, what should we do next? We just kind of write it. So
it sounds like you're having fun. That's all that really matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I had to convince my co-writer. She was stressing herself out over it, because that's what she does. And I said, just write it for us, like we've been doing for 3 years. We just write it for us. That's what's fun. I don't want you to. I said, don't think about what people would like. Don't think about if they're not going to like your writing, because they're not going to read it anyway. I was just write. So she finally she feels better about it, but for a while she didn't, because she hates her writing. She's better than me. She hates her writing, and I hate my writing, so we hate each other's writing. So it works out perfectly. We complete each other in our hate-love relationship, because I absolutely love her writing. I think it's the best thing I ever read. And for some reason, she likes mine. So it works out perfect, because that's what matters.
So mayhap what you told her about her writing, you should tell yourself about your marketing.
Yeah, I can do that sometimes. I'm confident in that I'm not confident. I'm some like the only like I have no confidence in anything except the story I wrote. Like when it comes to like anything else in my life, it's just like, oh, I don't know, or maybe, or I'm not that good at that. But
Oh,
say I love the story, so I'm
you
confident in
got
the.
you got two businesses, seem to be doing well.
Yes, but I always have that thought that it's gonna just end. Like it's just.
That's called imposter syndrome. That is
I
a
just heard of that. I just heard that word for the first time like 3 weeks ago. So I was like, yeah, it sounds familiar.
Do you want me to get you ahead of the curve on that?
Sure.
So what do
Very
you fear?
insightful.
What do you fear? What do you fear more, failure or success?
Um, I guess failure. I guess. I
Sure.
mean, actually, well, see, sometimes I worry. This is going to turn into a therapy session. Sometimes I worry that if I get too successful, that my karma shifts. So I don't want to be too successful. I just want enough to I can
So
afford the
what does fear of failure
yeah
and fear of success have in common?
failure. What?
It's actually see your real fear is it's a fear of change.
I do
See,
have a fear of change. That is
yeah,
accurate.
no. That's what imposter syndrome is. Ultimately, is it's a fear of change. Fear of failure is a fear that it will never change. That
Yeah.
no matter what you do, however you do that, things will never change. Fear of success is the fear of okay. Most of us know it's like the fall off the bicycle. Most of us know it's like the slip on the ice.
Mm.
But not only do you succeed, but do you fly? Well, that's awesome, but where do you go from there?
Yeah.
Fear of success is the fear of the unknown,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Right? It's the fear of the unknown. So,
Because it goes back to being a control freak. You can't control it if you don't know what it is.
yeah. And the thing is, control and you're going to have to give up being a control freak to some degree. That's just the way. That's just the
Well,
path
I
you're going.
have. I used to have to be a control freak because I didn't have a lot of people I can rely on, but now I actually do. So I'm not. I'm not like I used to be. So
But
yeah.
so anyway, so here's the thing. I have so
Am I
this
gonna get a bill
podcast.
for this session?
What?
Am I gonna get a bill for this session?
We can talk about it after if you like, right? What's it worth to you, right?
Yeah.
What's it worth to you, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. You gotta look at it like this. You don't know where you like. The one thing about this journey is no one knows exactly where they're going to end up. The thing is, you might not be what most people would consider super successful. You might be extremely successful. I don't know. Life's not fair. Here's the thing, right? That's the good and the bad of it. Like you can go to heights unimagined because life is unfair, but you also can stay exactly where you are because life is unfair. That's the one universe. That's a universal constant. So if you fear change, then here's the thing. Why do you fear it? Because you might become something more, something greater, something better. And if that's the case, then what you shouldn't worry about is where this takes you. What you should worry about instead is what could I do to stop this ride from being wonderful? Because if you can answer that question, then just not do it. You will be fine no matter where it takes you.
I have no idea.
But again, it's just again that
Well,
self awareness, that self
no,
honesty,
I
right?
mean you're right. It's because I like things the way they are. I do have a tremendous fear of change, because you don't
But
know what's going to happen if it's going to get worse or.
but it might be better, and that's the thing, right? If you go down this path, things will change. You can't avoid it. So the question is this: Will you potentially will you let yourself enjoy the ride you're on to the fullest, wherever it takes you? If the answer is yes, then you need to look at yourself in the mirror, honestly, and go to yourself, okay, what do I fucking do that gets in the way of this shit? And that's just an honest, that you don't have to do. Again, that's an honest gut check, right? Because we all have weaknesses. And once we understand what our weaknesses are, we go forth, right? Everybody's got them. So you fear success more than you fear failure because you fear change more than you fear staying the same. You're comfortable staying the same.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, life will not let you stay in the same place forever. And that's the thing. So if you are willingly moving forward to let yourself change, chances are it will be better. Chances are. So, right, if you decide that you're going to resist this change, inevitably the change will be worse. Because right, inevitably the change will be worse. Because you can't stop change. You can slow it down. You can move it to a crawl sometimes, but you can't stop it. So the question then is this: do you want to be better, or do you want to stay, or do you want to gradually shrink? It's up to you. I'm not going to tell you what the right answer on that is. And you sound, and I'm not saying this from a, because again, if you're truly happy where you're at, then it's okay if you're going to want to resist some of these changes. But if you're not happy and you just fear the unknown, it will not go well for you in the long run to resist these changes. And that's the honest truth.
Yeah, I just want to see my story in a comic book form. I'm like, someone said, would you want to be famous or do you want the book to be famous? And I said, I'd rather the book be famous than me. Yes. Like, I'm perfectly happy staying out of the limelight. I just want to be able to afford to see the comic books be made. And that's all I want.
And that's fair. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with, like, being honest with what you want is a good thing. But the risk you take making a comic is this: it might become very popular. It might become a huge hit. And suddenly you have TV stations, video games, and porn places, and all that other stuff going, hey, we want to take your property and do something with it. And you'll be like, yes, probably not. Right? And right. So, but the thing is, and I say it like that because success can happen like that. A lot of people like it, right? Can't, like, tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you got to be. So here's the thing: that's the risk you take putting your comic book out in the world. Now you can avoid it, but there's a big part of you that would regret that, and I think deep down you know that. So you need to put yourself out there and do the absolute best you can with the part. Don't be like, put it out there, feel good, let's move on, because that's what everybody tries to do, and then everybody goes, what the hell? No, you got to go like this: I'm going to take care of the books like they're mine. I'm going to do the best I can with them for as long as I can, and then see where it goes. And then right, and that's it. And that's all. That's your job. The rest of it, just trust.
Yeah, I got somebody, I guess they misunderstood something, and we got in a fight over it because they were saying that, I guess they were saying I cared more about the gimmicks than my story, and I said that's bullshit, because my heart and soul is not only is in the story. I redid issue 1 and threw away pretty much $5,000 because it had to be the way I wanted it to be. It had to be perfect. Yes. And he's like, and then he started yelling at me that you should have had to have redone 1. And I was like, I can't control, what happens all the time. I mean, I couldn't control that they would quit. And I'm actually glad they quit. It actually worked out for the better. And yes, I threw away money, but had that person not quit, I would not have 3 issues, and I would not have the art that I actually really love. So to me, it was worth losing the $5,000. So
you learn from it.
Yeah, I learned from it.
Yeah.
They apologized 1 second away from being blocked. The only reason why I have the gimmicks that I have, like the keychain, is because I wanted them, and it was tax deductible to make it offer it to everybody else.
So no, fair enough. Like I said, to me, like you're talking, like, to me, I'm just saying straight up.
Yeah.
You're talking to a guy that's just telling you straight up. It doesn't matter to me what it looks like. What matters to me is, are you happy with it? Yes, it sounds like you are, right? Proud of the books you've done. So therefore, ergo, it is your job then therefore to tell the world how awesome the book is, and don't worry about where it will take you. Right?
Yeah.
Just trust in the process. Right? You'll end up where you're supposed to end up. Again, provided you realize that you're not as if you can avoid self-sabotage. Right? That's
I think I can in this. I'm sure I've self-sabotaged myself, including all my diets, but I think the story, I'm way too obsessed with it. Obsessed. I'm addicted to the obsession of it. So I don't think I would self-sabotage this, but at least I hope not. But
no. What I'm talking about is like that fear of success.
yeah. Oh, letting it stop me. Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about telling the story. I'm not talking
No,
about
I know
that.
what you meant. I know what you meant.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm saying it like that just so you understand. Like that's your job. That's your real job.
Yeah.
To get it out to the people that most want to read it. The rest, you just trust that it's going to work out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And if you play your cards right, you'll be coming back to me in a few years going, I'm rich and shameless. And I'll be like, you were already shameless when I met you. That's okay.
But now I'm rich. Yeah, that's a fair deal. That's a good improvement, I suppose.
Yeah. So I mean, just trust yourself. Just trust that it'll work out the way it's supposed to work out, and then let everything else kind of just be, and get out of your own way when you need to get out of your own way, right? Be honest. Be honest of what you're afraid of. And with that little imposter syndrome, just tell it to go fuck itself every once in a while. You'll be good.
Yeah.
You'll be good.
Sounds good.
There you go. So how is the therapy session?
That's pretty good. I mean, I think the only thing missing it was a couch, so I can just lay down and listen. But yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much. So that all said, I think, Miss Corissa, we have an interview here. What do you think?
Yeah, it works.
So okay. So do you have a Kickstarter link?
Yes.
So you should probably send me the Kickstarter link.
Okay.
So yes, folks, we are getting to the part where she's going to tell us about her amazing book and why it's awesome and made of cheese.
It's made of what?
Cheese.
Cheese?
Cheese. Why not? Cheese is awesome.
I'm lactose intolerant.
Okay. How about ice cream?
Oh, okay. Ice cream's worth getting.
Yeah, it's You're like, hey, you made your goal. Congrats.
Yeah, I did.
All right. So here's the deal, folks. I'm going to go here. Yeah, John. I don't know if you know John Westhoff or not. Okay, so that's it. So yeah. He says I make people feel good. It's like, that's cool. I'm good with that. So this is, ladies and gentlemen, her Kickstarter from Worthy Chaos. The Redemption Horror issue number 2 is coming out. So why don't you tell people, give people, we're going to work on this right now before you go. Give it the spiel. What's the book about?
Pressure. So this is
just me. Just me.
Yeah. So it's actually, it started as issue 2, but now it's issue 1 through 3, because I redid 1. So I had a soft opening Kickstarter before, where it was mostly just clients and friends and family, whatever. And then I redid 1 for this. And then my artist is so freaking fast that 3 was done. So now it's 1 through 3.
Okay.
It was supposed to be 2, hence the link there.
Yeah. Okay. So all right. That preamble's out of the way. What's it about?
Okay. So it's about an angel descendant, Seraphina, and her soulmate, Draven, who is a demon descendant. They don't know the reason, but they are being chased by everything on the planet. In the first book, pretty much, they wind up in a town that is merging with hell. So their main goal is to try to survive. Now, also protect each other, because they thought they were each dead for 10 years, and now they came together, and neither one believes the other one is real. So they're trying to build that trust up, and the fact that they pretty much had hearts of stone because they thought their soulmate was dead. They didn't think there was anything left to live for, and he became an assassin and she became a supernatural hunter set on revenge for having him been taken away from her when she was a teenager. So it starts off as a revenge story and then quickly turns into a survival story. And they are trying to figure out why everything on the planet is against them. And it's, if you want to compare it to something, it would be Buffy meets Supernatural in Silent Hill with the Evil Dead, all rolled into one.
That wasn't too bad.
Yeah,
that wasn't too bad.
Sorry. I will say, I've been told, and I knew this, but the first 2 issues especially are incredibly chaotic. In my defense, it's in the name. So, but a lot happens right away. When someone reads a comic book, most of the time, it's not always, but most of the time, there'll be like 1 or 2 scenes, and mine is like 5. It's like 5 put in 1. The start of issue 1 is, in the second page, her parents are being slaughtered. What?
Don't apologize for what your book is.
I don't even remember what I apologize for.
You apologize because everybody's expecting this to be some kind of blah 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 blah. Oh. That's couching an apology, right? That's couching an apology. Don't apologize for what your book is. Tell me what it's, right. Your book is, from what you just said, it's about 2. It's about 2, like basically soulmates, bonded by souls.
Yeah.
Discovering each other.
Share a soul. Yeah.
Share soul. Rediscovering each other after thinking the other one long gone, right? Yeah. And now trying to figure out why everybody's out to kill them. And it's lots of action and chaos and mayhem.
Yes. It does balance out. The first 2 issues are nonstop, incredibly chaotic. It balances out a little bit, but it never really slows down. But they do, they do get to bond, and talk and all that stuff. But it's a lot of action into one story. But it's like you said, it's got the romance. They do love each other, and they would do anything for the other person. And it's kind of, I would say, if one person was to ask about the story, I would say it's to explore the limits of what you would do for somebody that you love, because the things they do are things that one person wouldn't think that they could do, and they find that strength to do it, and just when they find that they're about to lose that person and they think that they can't actually do anything more, they can. So it pretty much, their love makes them unstoppable in a way.
That's cool.
So, yeah, and yeah, you know what, it really does. And I feel bad because we torture them. I feel bad for my, not the people reading it, but I feel bad for my characters because we torture them. But they get to be together, and that makes it all worth it. So it works.
There you go. It's available now. We'll work on that. All right. We'll work on that a little bit. Never apologize for what your book is or isn't. Just just embrace what it is, and don't worry about what anybody else thinks of it. This is your book, and this is awesome, right?
Well, the tough part is I already love the story.
No, but that's not the tough part. The tough part is, you see, here's the thing with you. It's not that you love the story. You do.
Yeah.
But you're trying again, you're comparing it with other things. And you shouldn't worry about that. It's your story. Let your story stand on its own merits, and not worry about anything else.
But you have to say something to get them to open the book. So
it's Buffy meets Supernatural meets Silent Hill. That sounded pretty good to me. I'm just saying, you already kind of did that.
Everyone told me that's what you should, like, what would you compare it to? And even proposals ask you that. But there was a guy who was going all out on people, saying that makes you sound like you're not unique because you're comparing it. And it's not that. If you like those things, you would like this unique story.
It's not. I just tell people like what works for them. But like I said, the only thing I'm coming at you is, don't apologize for your work. ever let your work stand on its own merits, and you can just talk again. You love the book, go there. Why you love the book, what you think it kind of reminds you of. That's it.
Yeah.
If you can just keep it like this, because the moment you overthink, go, well, if you're expecting this, it's like this. It's just no, don't overthink it. Just have fun. And
Okay.
this concludes today's therapy section.
Yeah, good.
How can people find, if people want to find you, how would they do it?
So Worthy Chaos is everywhere. If you just go to Kickstarter and search Worthy Chaos, we come up. If you search Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all you have to do is search Worthy Chaos. And we have a website, worthychaoscomics.com. And what?
That's what I wanted.
Yeah. And and you can buy everything there after the Kickstarter, but
yeah, sure. But please support the Kickstarter, right?
Support the Kickstarter because it's important, and there's really interesting and cool rewards in there. And I know it's not about the gimmicks, but it just adds to it. Like we have a story that was we have a song that was written. Yeah.
I would back your physical issues, but I have one tiny problem. I live in Canada.
Yeah, but I will say though, I love the reason why the physical is nice is because I mean they're 80-pound glossy paper. Yes. So we did not skimp on that.
Okay.
So because that was, you know what it is? It's such a dark color and it's such a dark world that it just glossy just makes it pop. Like the prequel is going to probably be regular, like, you know, the retro.
Yeah,
you know, comic because it has that feel to it. But I will say that the PDFs they're actually really nice too. And you can download the song. And you can add the song too. So like if you did want the song, it's $5 as an add-on. So if you were to buy the PDFs, you can actually just get the song if you want to. But I like you, so I'll just send it to you if you want it. But but this song was written and produced and everything just for this. And then, you know, the cool buttons and stuff. We have campaign buttons. You can pick the angel side or the demon side. I'm not going to say which one's better or worse, but demons generally have more fun. Yes. so the demon button is the way to go. But yeah, there's a lot of cool things on there. But I mean, even if you just want, I mean, for $10, you get 6 PDFs. You get 3 in color and 3 in black and white. So it's most of the black and white was just thrown in there because my artist has phenomenal skills in black and white. I mean, he does not do the simple, you know, outline. No, it is a whole other world, and then it's colored. You know, you're like, that looks amazing, and then it's colored. And you're like, holy shit, it got better. Like, you know, it's just like you think it can't get any better, and then he does this one scene where the moon is in the sky and they're kind of talking to each other, and he doesn't believe she's real, so she's trying to convince him that she's real. And then they have a moment, one little tiny second of it's really me, and then they're attacked by like a million ghosts. So and then they get to jump over the fence, and they're holding hands for like 4 seconds before they're, you know, surrounded by 1,000 dead bodies. So we give them little things of happiness. But the color, that's just, I mean, the moon in the sky is just gorgeous, you know. And when you see it, you're just like, holy shit, that actually looks amazing. Like, I loved it in black and white, and now I just like adore it in color. So
yeah,
but right. So you get to see both.
Yeah. So Miss Corissa, I think we have an interview here. What do you think?
Perfect. I think it's awesome, and a therapy session, and very insightful. Everything else.
That's right. All right, folks. Before I wrap up, this is my advertising services. I make videos, audios, words, and pictures about basically your projects, yourselves, whether it's a Kickstarter, whether it is about building your brand. I can do that for you. It's right here, right now. And that will do it. I have a special little guest on Sunday. That's what will be my next stream. But until then, folks, I wanted to say thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, however you did this. Thank you, Corissa, for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Stay inspired. Keep shining in the dark. And I'll see you guys next time.